We are here inside the workshop next to the Quicksilver 555 that we pulled out of the water. I'm just going to show you some of the things that we've changed for the service and how she's getting on. So here are most of the service items that come with the Mercury 300-hour service kit. So I'll just show you each one and I'll explain what each one does and where they go. So starting with this, the most obvious is the oil filter. So this is a Mercury oil filter, and this goes onto the engine just as it does in your car and filters out any contaminants from the engine oil. So this just screws onto the block and then there's a filtration inside. This is the old oil filter. Whilst we're on filters, this is the fuel filter. So this goes in your fuel line underneath the cover on your engine. Just like your oil filter, this filters out all the contaminants in your petrol so that you have nice clean fuel going into the engine. This is the used old fuel filter. All of these items come with a 300-hour service kit, so all of these items are replaced regardless. Next, this is the thermostat. There's the thermostat in there, as you would traditionally think a thermostat looks like, and this is actually the housing with it as well. So again, with the 300 service kit, 300-hour service kit, it comes with the whole housing and thermostat. So all that has been changed. That sits on top of the engine and your coolant water goes through there. It opens and closes when the engine is up to temperature, which allows an increased or a reduced flow of water. These components here are part of your water pump. Your water pump is down here inside the gearbox. So water enters here and then goes round the water pump, which is about here on the engine inside, and then this is your impeller. So this spins with the gearbox and pumps water up into the engine. So this is one of the most important items to service on an outboard engine. Every 3 years maximum these should be changed. If you use your boat more, or if you don't use your boat very much, these should be changed very, very regularly. We're talking sometimes every year, depending on your usage. This one was fitted new in 2021, so this is 3 years old, and you can see it is deformed. The blades have bent. When the impeller is new, they are straight like that. So deformed blades will reduce efficiency. No major cracks in this one, but you do get cracks down here, and pieces of the blades can come off if the impeller is too old. So that's really important to change this. This is the keyway, this here, and you see the groove there in the impeller, that sits in that groove, which sits on the flat of the shaft, which enables it to spin. So that comes with the kit, so that is changed regardless. This is the bottom plate and the bottom gasket for the water pump. So the impeller sits on this when it's spinning. If this is scored, like this one, or has contaminants on it, like this one, it will reduce the water flow. So it comes with the 300-hour service kit, so it is changed for the 300-hour service. These are seals that sit on top of the, well, this one sits on top of the water pump. These seals sit together in the tubes for the water pickup pipe. These washers here are the gearbox oil drain washers. So in the lower part of your gearbox, you have oil. In here, this is all full of oil. So when that oil is changed, these washers are also changed. If you don't change these washers, you could be leaking gear oil. And when you leak gear oil, you don't just contaminate the water that you're in, you also allow water into your gearbox, which in time will destroy the whole gearbox. So it's very important that these are changed. Spark plugs, we all know what spark plugs are. So these are changed on a 300-hour service. As you can see, They are quite used, ready for a change. A spark plug can look perfect, but actually could be causing quite a running issue. They can look perfect, but visually be great, but internally they can be faulty. It's very important that these are changed. A note for these as well, it's not really recommended to always take these out and just clean them and put them back in. Yes, you can clean these up, and yes, the engine will run fine, but you do risk damaging the tip of the spark plug. I have also seen this year a boat that came in and the spark plugs had been apparently cleaned, but they were all pitted with from corrosion. So not recommended on marine engines to clean and refit spark plugs, always fit new. Your anodes, so we've got 3 anodes on this engine. These 2 weren't underwater, so there's no erosion on them whatsoever. However, they are included in the 300-hour service kit. The service kit is a box, they come with it as standard, so we change them. This is the bar anode. This sits low on the engine and is submerged in water, so this has been changed. As you can see, this is the old one, it's got growth on it and all sorts. Anodes are designed to protect the engine from corrosion. So if you don't fit or change the anodes, the aluminium casings of your engine will corrode, especially in salt water, and eventually fail. So that's the components of a 300-hour service on a Mercury 80 horsepower engine. Obviously there's engine oil as well, which I haven't got here to show you because that's now in the engine, and there's gear oil that has been put into the gearbox as well. As well as that, there's grease points to check, electrical connections to check, and various running checks to perform. Onto the boat, the work is progressing very nicely. So she has had a wash, although she needs more yet when she leaves the workshop. She's been polished and she's starting to come up very nicely. But job now that is happening right this moment is anti-foul. So the waterline has been masked off and the dark blue anti-foul is being applied. The other thing we have to do is this trailer. This trailer is brand new. This is the first time the boat was on the trailer, but these bunks are too high, so we have to release these bolts, lower the bunks down, and when the boat goes back onto the trailer, the keel of the boat will sit on these rollers, and then we bring the bunks up to the boat. Because we're in our workshop and the boat's in our hoist, we have a 3-ton hoist in here. We have the ability of lifting the boats off the trailers to be able to do work such as this. So a bit of a progress update on the Quicksilver. Different video for you, different to the boat tours. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.